Hey everybody, it's Mike Cadieux. I'm coming to you live from the town hall event in Procurement Foundry. So far, it looks like I'm the only person in here, so that's fine. I'm going to stick around for a little while this evening. We are live on the YouTube channel, and we're also live on the Facebook channel. So if you go to Procurement Foundry's YouTube or Facebook accounts right now, you can find us live. And anybody who wants to talk to me can talk to me. And I'm going to see where, I think Tina posted something up in here about me going live this evening. Just want to make sure. Yep. Okay. So she did post something about me going live into the channel. Yep. Fantastic. Okay. So let's see. I just want to make sure that everything is working okay, and that everybody can potentially see what I'm looking at. And I want to be able to see where chat is. I don't see any chat right now. Oh, comments. There we go. So again, I'm just getting used to this. We started using something called StreamYard, and StreamYard is an online broadcasting platform that allows us to do a lot of the logos and things like that. We're investigating this as we get into more and more streaming, live versus recovery. So wow, we get a couple of people in here. This is fantastic. Let's see. So real quickly, I'm not sure who's here. Oh, somebody just gave me a thumbs up. Tina says I'm on my phone, and it's awesome. So Tina Noble, our Director of Community Development for Procurement Foundry, is syncing in live from her phone. I'm guessing you're at a hockey rink right now, Tina, because Tina's got 3 boys who all play hockey. I've got something really strange going on with my hat. I'm sorry that it's misaligned. I got to work on that. So anyway, hey, Kendrick Cadieux is here as well. Hi, Kendrick Cadieux. Great to hear from you. And for everyone who doesn't know who Kendrick Cadieux is, she's the person who supports me in my efforts with Procurement Foundry on a day-to-day basis. So this is really interesting. I get to live stream out to all of you, but I get to see your comments on the side. So thank you all for joining in and jumping in today. We're going to talk a little bit about what's happening in Procurement Foundry this week, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask them. I think we've got some more people coming in from, believe it or not, I think we've got a couple of people coming in from the West Coast in a couple of minutes, and we might even have a couple of folks coming in from Europe late night. So let's talk about what's going on this week in Procurement Foundry. First and foremost, probably the biggest and most interesting thing that happened was we dropped the compensation and salary survey. And for those of you who are interested in knowing where the compensation and salary survey is, let me just jump right into the Foundry for a second. And if you go into the Procurement Foundry announcements board, I think you can find it. Let's see, where did we drop that in? Oops, gotta scroll down a little bit. There's been a lot going on in here. We're still in January. Sorry, I'm gonna keep scrolling for you. In fact, let me do this. That way you can still see me and I can look while we're doing this. So, yeah, so if you go into the Procurement Foundry announcements board, on February 13th, we dropped the 2020 survey and compensation salary in there, and the PDF file for that is attached to my post. You can see there's a lot of feedback on that already. We're actually getting ready to drop that into an e-commerce site this evening. And we're going to be pushing that out on an e-commerce download purchase basis for non-Procurement Foundry members. So that's one thing that's taking place. Second thing is I wanted to talk quickly about membership. So we've had a lot of activity in membership in the last few days. In the last week, we actually climbed up above almost 2,400 members. We have about 1,850 live members, and we have about 600 folks that are pending. They haven't accepted their invitations yet. So they've gotten through the vetting process, but they haven't actually gotten into the Foundry and lit up their credentials yet. So that's probably the next thing I wanted to talk about, and it's going very, very strongly. Thank you for all of you that are pushing the membership drive this month. Just remember that reminder that February is a membership drive month, and that if you have folks in your communities that you're interested in having them join Procurement Foundry, you can send a note to Tina, who's at Tina Marie. You can direct message her, and you can send her anyone that you have a list. We've had some people send her lists as large as 50 or 75 people. And then we've also had a few folks cut and paste the document that we put out there for membership drive, which is a little bit further back inside of announcements, actually. Yeah, there you go. So we've got the membership drive from Sunday, February 2nd, and it explains all of the different options on the membership drive as well. So the membership drive information is located on February 2nd. And if you scroll down a little bit further inside of the announcements board, you can see the post that we did about the salary and compensation survey. So I just realized that I have been sharing my screen with you all and not sharing a picture of me. So let's do that. Okay, so sorry, getting used to this StreamYard streaming technology. So, okay, so what else? LinkedIn content probably is the next thing I wanted to talk about this week. LinkedIn content is booming, and LinkedIn content is on the LinkedIn page. We went over, I think, 5,200 followers this week. The engagement on LinkedIn, on the content that we're doing, the posts that we're doing, the guest blogs are getting an enormous amount of content in them as well. So there's a lot of guest bloggers who are looking to build their own personal brand, subject matter experts that are inside of the Foundry, and they're looking to expand their brand a little bit. And if they've got a topic, or if you have a topic that you want to write about, then by all means feel free to send us some information about what you want to talk about and what you might have as an article, and we'll have the writing team get back in touch with you, follow up, make sure it's not something we've already covered, and maybe suggest another topic for you. And then we'll also have the writing team draw something up for you, help you out with that. And then once we've gone through the editing process with you, we'll give you a guest spot as a blogger inside of the Procurement Foundry, which our blog posts are getting somewhere around 400 or 500 views and reads right now, and going out to all of the 5,000 followers as well. The newsletter, next topic I want to talk about. So the newsletter is getting up to speed very quickly. We're up at around 2,500 folks on the newsletter now. Last week, the newsletter actually had a 32% open rate. So amazing. Thank you all for everyone that's opening and reviewing the newsletters. And that is going very, very well. The last thing I wanted to talk about, two things I want to talk about, is some of the other content that we just did. So earlier this week, we did a webinar with Bill Browning from Director of Procurement at Carbonite up in Boston. He put a great presentation webinar together around what to do when you're in a greenfield environment, and how to attack a greenfield procurement organization that's never had a company that's never had a procurement organization before. If you are in that situation, I highly recommend you take a look at it and listen to that. That will be up and inside of the YouTube channel, I want to say tomorrow or the next day at the latest. We just loaded up Sarah Scudder's file from the previous week. Sarah, as most of you probably already know, is the print management person. Sarah owns a company called, is the president of a company called RSN. She also has a magazine called Procure Rising, which she is actually, there's a huge article in it about Procurement Foundry this month. We're the feature article inside of her magazine. And she's also one of the board members for Global Women Procurement Professionals. So take a look at Sarah's webinar that we did 2 weeks ago. We just loaded up into YouTube. She'll be pushing it out. I'll be pushing it out this week as well. And then this week, Tuesday at 1 p.m., we are going to have Chris Vignan, who's a friend of mine. He runs a consulting firm based out of New York. He does sales and use tax analysis. If you've probably heard me mention sales and use tax analysis if you follow me on LinkedIn. If you have questions about sales and use tax, if you're in the IT space and you buy software, this is probably a must-listen event. Absolutely huge. The sales tax ramifications associated with software as a service, infrastructure as a service, cloud services, all of those things have fairly interesting nuances associated with the sales and use tax aspect of the technology-related purchasing that a lot of our technology people are buying, and I know we've got almost 500 people inside of the community now. So that's Tuesday at 1 o'clock, this Tuesday, the 18th. Chris Vignan's going to be running through an entire presentation on sales and use tax. I highly recommend you attend it and take a look at it. So what else? Last thing, probably next week, both myself and Yasha Coffey, my other partner in Procurement Foundry, we're both heading out to California. We're going to be in San Francisco next week at the Spark event. So we will be there from Sunday until Tuesday evening. And Sunday evening, we are in the process of planning a quick Procurement Foundry member meetup for Sunday night. Probably informal, a couple of cocktails, maybe an appetizer or two. We haven't found a location yet. We're trying to do that on the fly. We are testing Tina's abilities to jump through hoops on a daily basis, and this is the newest attempt to see if she can get us a location in less than 5 days in San Francisco on a weekend when there's a conference. So we'll see. She's fantastic. I'm sure we will find a place to host 30 or 40 of you. I know that there's at least 30 or 40 Procurement Foundry folks going to that event. So I'm really excited to see where that goes. And I think that's about it. It doesn't look like there's a lot of folks that are here or need to ask any questions this evening. So I'm going to sign off early tonight because I have a ton of work to do in addition to this. Unless someone has any questions, I'm probably going to call it a night. So I'll just hold on 1 second and see if there's anybody who wants to, anybody that has any questions. Looks like Tina's coming in from YouTube, which is really interesting. But she's doing YouTube over her phone. Interesting. All right, so no one has any questions. We're just going to jump to it. And thanks again. Again, this List Live event actually records and maintains a post inside of both the Facebook page as well as on the YouTube channel. So in the future, you can just kind of get this week's update, okay? All right, thanks. I'm going to get rid of this, and that's it. Everybody have a great Sunday night, and good luck next week. Bye-bye.